Hello everyone, and welcome to Capsule Cast. This is week 13 of the 2024 season. I am your host, Xmat, and I'm joined once again by my excellent co-host, Fathappy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Lovely to be here.
It is, and it's great to have you here. You ready to get moving straight into the matches this week?
I think we will move straight into the matches.
Perfect, beautiful stuff. So, match 1, we had Team Muscle against Kaiju, and this was a divisional, so there was Zenny spent, but only on one side. It was only Muscle that spent Zenny. Kaiju did not spend any Zenny. So, the outcome, you might ask, because Muscle spent 8 Zenny, Kaiju won. And in part, that was because of the starters of the match. Because to start with, we had 13 against Kid Goku. And I think everyone knows by now that Kid Goku is a strong character. But I also think everyone would expect 13 to still beat him. Because 13 is probably one of, if not the most powerful, or recognised as one of the most powerful characters, at least, in the league.
13 is definitely one of the most notoriously dangerous characters.
100%, yeah.
If you had to make a raw tier list, regardless of team, you'd probably be in the top 10, at least.
Probably even in the top 5. He's that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kid Goku really helped out there. I think it was then Bardock against Trunks, which was a bit back and forth. Really, the big one that comes near the end, because it's really an even fight between both the teams. But basically, it came down to Scouter against it was Raccoon and I think Broly were both still alive. Scouter, he managed to work through Broly. He managed to work through Broly, but Raccoon was kind of an issue for him. But eventually he transformed, and I think it was about a bar. I might have got that the wrong way around. It might have been Broly that was left last in, but
yes, Broly came in last.
Yeah, it was. So it was Raccoon first.
Or Broly came in, tagged out, I believe, and then came back in against Scouter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Broly had it was a bar between both of them, I think. Ape Scouter pulled out the victory, which was kind of clutch from him. Cause...
Sadly for Raccoon, he has a hard time planting apes.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit impossible. So, but yeah, you have any thoughts on this match? Maybe to do with Muscle spending Zenny as well. And
I mean, spending Zenny is what it is. You never know quite what's going to happen when you spend Zenny. I do believe that typically spending Zenny is always a power boost. But, if the enemy team was... you never know by how much you're going to win or lose. So you never know by how effective that power boost would have been. And I know that I had a victory against a team that spent an ungodly amount of Zenny.
Did it make the win feel better for you when you beat a team that spent a lot of Zenny against you?
It didn't make it feel better. It did make it funnier. But yeah, I feel like Muscle, they pulled out the stops, they spent the money, and just unfortunate that they still lost.
Yeah, and I do think it's kind of unfortunate that the 5 Zenny they spent, or the big chunk of the Zenny they spent out of the 8, was on 13 with the starter kit, and obviously that matchup just didn't pan out at all.
Yeah, I will say that Muscle really wanted the win, because Kaiju after this match are 8-5, and they're now 5-8. And so they're currently amongst the bottom. They're amongst the bottom teams that are on the verge of being knocked out. They could very well be knocked out in the next 2 weeks if they get unlucky.
Yeah, this is the thing. There are a lot of teams down there on that sort of record, 5-8. And I think there's a couple of teams below them on 4-9. So Muscle really wanted to get that win to kind of pull away, but obviously that hasn't happened now. I think obviously the divisional was a slight factor with Muscle, because if they had have won, I think they would have been on 6 and 7, and Kaiju would have been on 7 and 6. So they could have potentially. I'm not sure. I think a lot of that division is on that similar sort of record. So there's a chance Muscle could have maybe pipped a few of them to the top, which would have been quite funny, considering where Muscle started from. But yeah, yeah.
Could this be the season where Muscle doesn't make it to the bowl?
Well, if they don't make it to playoffs, that would be one way to deny them.
Yeah, to the playoffs. That's what I meant. Sorry.
To the playoffs. I was going to say if they get to the playoffs, they've got a very strong chance because their 5-man is always a very strong 5-man. And probably, in my opinion, the weird thing is, despite their record, this is probably their strongest 5-man team that they've had for a very long time, of individual characters. That is.
I'd agree with that. They have the strong characters out. Although it is interesting to see first form Broly.
It is, yeah, because it's not really like seen as the strongest form, but it probably does have a few less teething issues with stuff like Trap Shooter, which I think probably was annoying if he was on Muscle, where he'd use Kakarot just to fire a Trap Shooter out. That would probably be annoying. I think Base has a few less issues with that, but overall is probably not as good of a form.
Yeah, not the best B2 in the world, but it is what it is. Good match nonetheless.
Yeah, congratulations, Kaiju. Decent, very good divisional win. And yeah, get moving on to match 2.
We shall.
Okay, match 2 is Budokai versus Resurrected Warriors. Both teams now, after this match, on the same record of 5 and 8. But spoilers: Budokai were already 5 and 7, so they lost this match. But it was a very, very close match. It started out with Namek against Yajirobe. Quite funny, to sort of Dragon Ball era characters going at it. It was, I think the start was fairly even. The main parts I remember about this match, if I'm being honest, is right at the end, where it was Goku and Yajirobe both on a bar, struggling for their lives to try and stay, try and see who would win. I think it actually ended up being about half a bar difference in the end. The rest of the match is a little bit hazy for me, but I think Margie went up against early Piccolo, and early Piccolo I vaguely remember doing fairly decent because he had eternal life and he was able to stick around for a little while.
Yeah, I mean Yajirobe was probably what clinched it for Resurrected Warriors in that match, because he beat Nam by truly a sliver, and then he tagged the instant that Piccolo came in, and then he came back in later for the win against Goku. So, like, I would say that he was probably like the determining factor was Yajirobe managing to tag, because his fight with Nam was like dead even for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, basically Yajirobe, the most important work he did was even though he started, was at the end of the match, because he managed to get through what was left of Goku and secure that win for RW, which they desperately need, by the way, because again they're in that same bracket as what Muscle are, where they need to try and claw wins to make playoffs.
It's the age-old tale. All matches start with Yajirobe and end with Yajirobe.
It's weird because it's so weird because you say that, but I do vividly remember. I know of at least one other match where he started and he ended, but it was a loss. I think they lost it. But it is true. It starts and ends with Yajirobe. It always does for some reason. But yeah.
Somehow Yajirobe in Dragon Ball Z League has protagonist energy.
No, he does. 100% he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Anyone else that impressed you maybe on Budokai's end? Because it was a really close match.
It was a really close match. Like it was down to less than half a bar, which is those are the spicy matches we like to watch. When everything is down to the absolute wire. It could really have gone either way, to be honest. But yeah, excellent match on both sides.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to get moving on to match 3 then?
Let us tomatoes, cucumbers, and so on and so forth.
Okay, on that note, match 3. GT versus Derp, which we had Imperfect Cell starting off against Frost, which by all accounts is a very interesting matchup. I think Frost won it. I know Derp definitely won it, and they won with 3 characters. Solza didn't even step on the field, if my memory serves. I think it was mainly Frost and 21, with help from Yamcha.
Frost is a menace.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. There's no question in it. He's had a few like more rough weeks. I think probably the last couple of weeks, but in general this season he's been absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, even though he's been that good, it did surprise me that he beat Imperfect Cell so easily, because I thought that might be a bit of a counter to Frost, but no, apparently not.
I feel like Frost, for whatever reason, he's so good at out meleeing people.
Yeah,
like
and he's
the
had a
way his
key 2 build
melee
as well.
works, just it's strange. Well, I feel like he always wins out in the melee trades, probably because of the way his like weird stuns work and stuff like that. But yeah,
I do think
Imperfect Cell has been really good this season, in my opinion.
Yeah,
compared to what you would expect of Imperfect Cell.
Yeah, he's had some really clutch matches for GT. Like part of the reason GT is 7 and 5 is because of him. Like there's been matches he's clutched hard for them. But
oh, okay. So I did just look up his stats, and I was about to say that because I was expecting his stats to be like pretty okay, but I guess when you have your highest character is Sin at 48k, and your second highest is Vegeta at 42k, and everyone else is below 40, then it's a rough one.
Yeah.
But 39k average, he's about average.
I think some of those may have been cleanup, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure, but
for Cell tends to have like really long stays on field. He tends to be the starter, doesn't he?
I think he started a couple of times.
I know he started a few at least.
I'm just thinking it might be cleanup because what was the averages of the 2 characters above 40k?
48 and 42.
Oh, okay. So not really. I was kind of thinking maybe
Imperfect 39, Super 17 39, Baby 28.
Baby's got 28k average.
Yeah.
Holy.
I was as surprised.
That is a big surprise. That's probably part of the reason why, like, I don't know what he did in this match, but if it's anything like the rest of the season, then that's probably part of the reason why they've struggled so much in this match, at least.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's one of those weird things where it seems like a lot of their characters are just underperforming this season, even though they've been historically good. And I don't think they've had that many build changes. So
it is a bit weird, but congratulations to Derp though.
Yeah,
they've got 21 working really well. Frost working really well. And I was going to say that one thing on Frost. I was going to say the key 2 I think does come in clutch, because when he does melee, he always has the key to like either use the finger beam, or he'll charge up a little bit and then he'll just, while the person's stunned, he can just Nova Strike them, or whatever. His
scuffed Nova Strike.
Yeah, his blue Nova Strike. That's what I'm going to call it. Blue Nova Strike.
Frost isn't top 10 in the league right now.
Isn't?
He is sitting at number 7 in the league.
Oh, he is. I thought you said isn't then. I was like, what?
Without I believe stats for the current week aren't in yet, but he is number 7 right now at 58k.
That's crazy.
58.9, so basically 59k.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Derp in general is kind of crazy. They have a single character below 40.
And I'm going to take a guess
that's
at
Yamcha.
Yeah. I bet it's not even that far below, is it?
He's at 34k.
That's not too bad still.
Not too bad. And then everyone else above 40. So
to be fair though, if you think about it, if everyone else is above 40, there's only so much damage to go around. Yamcha might not even have enough damage to do half the time. And
that's
where
true.
He tags a lot as well. So
he does.
Yeah, so are you ready to get moving on? Congratulations to Derp, I think. But
yep.
Yeah.
Let's move on. It is before we move on, it is nice to see Derp having a really good season.
Oh yeah, I mean
Derp and Sentai both actually.
They deserve it. But both of those teams really deserve to be able to have these good seasons, these breakout seasons, and hopefully they can continue some momentum into playoffs. Speaking of playoffs, match 4 could be pivotal in deciding who actually makes playoffs, because we had Androids versus Cinema. Now Androids up until this point had only had 3 wins this season, so as you can see from the graphic they now have 4. So Androids put in a surprise performance against one of the top teams this season. It's weird. 7 and 6 normally you would say is like a above average team, but this season I feel like a lot of the win-loss records, you'd say that they are actually a top team because there's so many teams that are tied. But yeah, so
true.
We have Android 16 who started up against Janemba, which I think, to be honest, was more even than I anticipated, because Janemba, I think the last few seasons he's normally been like a, just below average character, but 16 you always see as like the melee heavyweight. But Janemba held his own and almost what I remember, he got 16 down to about half a bar when he died, and then
yes,
yeah, so it was really even. Also on here we're missing, by the way, there's a 19 is not on here, but he was in the match because that's who I'm going to speak about right now. 19 against Fasha. Let's talk about it for a second. How incredible was it that 19 beat Fasha?
19 beating Fasha is the kind of thing you do not expect. I would say 19 is definitely not as bad as some people like to say, and I will say that I have a slight bias against Fasha because I don't understand why she's good, but she is.
Because let her be good, okay?
Whoa!
Tosh. A wild Toshiro has appeared.
Whoa! Just randomly crashing into my commentary to deny my statement.
Yes. Totally.
But
welcome, Tosh. Welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But yeah, it was a really entertaining moment to see 19 just absolutely whacking Fasha around, and also I believe he got a key break into a grab into a beam, just the kind of perfect setup that you can only really get with an android that has a drain grab.
Oh yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a certain other android can't do it for the most part. Well, he can, but one of his B2s can't.
He's trash.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
As Sin Shinron likes to say in Xenoverse 2, saying a trash can trash.
No,
that's what he says for one of his moves.
Jiro
that's what Jiro needs to do.
No, Jiro is and I'll stand on this. Jiro, back in the old league, you always used to fear Jiro. You never feared 19. There's a reason for it.
As a former Androids member, this could not be further from the truth.
It's not. No. Season. I think it's probably 5, 6, 7. Jiro was he was a menace. Okay.
But wasn't that back when we still had healing grabs?
Yeah, that's why he was a menace. But he was a menace. But he was like no one like was scared of 19, but everyone was scared of Jerome. Tell me why that is. Okay.
Right.
a
Even
mystery.
when I used to be on Androids, I would rather have 19 than Jiro, to be honest with you. So
Cope.
hey.
But anyway, yeah. But to be fair, he did do well. He did do well. You got to give him his props. And then,
Oh yeah.
I mean, the end of the match, I remember Cell did all right. I also remember that 17 was basically just did 17 things, and I don't know. I think androids, I know sometimes 17 can be frustrating, or at least some of the coach and some of the supporters can find him frustrating. But if you've got 17, like the way he is, the amount of damage, the absurd damage that he can do, if he has a few off weeks, so be it. Like, because this week he pulled it through for them hard at the end of the match. So.
Oh yeah, 17 is one of the most dangerous characters in the league by far.
Oh yeah.
I would way rather fight like perfect or super perfect Cell.
Yeah, no,
Then I would like to fight 17.
No, I agree. Because 17, he has good melee, and his charge rate's really good, and his B2s are like insanely good. So it's like, like your character's in melee, and you think, okay, he's doing good. He's got 17 down a bar, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, actually he's not doing good. He's took 30k in 2 seconds because he can just do that. Yeah, 17. He is a powerhouse, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much else to say about this match, other than congratulations, androids.
Yes, congrats, androids, and
A much needed victory.
yes, definitely. It could turn around the season, but yeah, commiseration cinema. But again, good record, and I'm sure you'll carry on through the rest of the season, and I'm 99% sure you'll be in playoffs. So, match 5. I know you're desperate to talk about this match.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I do. I do.
Oh, we can skip this one, right?
I mean, yeah, go on then. I'll allow it. Royals versus Buu Saga. Come on, let's get into the details about how.
Alright, so we started off, classic Deborah starter versus Buhan, and it was decently close-ish, kind of, until Buhan got a lead, took out Deborah, and then later on, what's it called? King Cole takes out Buhan, and then Evil Buu, this friggin' evil Buu, this evil creature, comes in and just spams evil breaths like there is no tomorrow. Like, truly, I could not catch a break.
I can smell the evil from over here, to be honest. It's kind of disgusting. Evil Buu. That's gross from that guy.
It is one of those things where evil breath is in the category of B2 that when the AI chooses to spam it, there is no counter.
Yeah.
AI chooses to spam trap shooter. You don't really care. AI chooses to spam a beam. Oh, that's pretty good. AI chooses to spam this nonsense. That's really good. I wonder if that's why Deborah is good.
Well, he does have both evil impulse, and if he decides to use it, the bloody stream B2 is really good because it does so much damage.
Oh yeah. But Evil Buu basically did amazing. He took out both.
King Cole survived because he came back in later, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, am I misremembering? Oh no, sorry. After Deborah, it was Majin Vegeta that came in and took out Buhan, and then Evil Buu just deleted Majin Vegeta. That was it.
Yeah.
Sorry, and then what's it called? I believe Babidi came in and did absolutely nothing because he got planet bursted by I believe a boosted Kid Buu. Hold on, let me double check.
I can tell you.
I think he was running Closeout Specialist, right?
Yes, he was running Closeout Special.
And
So
also
they had
boosted on
they had
light
3 savers on the team effectively.
body. Yes.
So Babidi just kind of got destroyed, and then King Cold actually put up a decent performance. I think he's the
Until
one who
Majin
performed the
Buu
best.
came in, I think Majin Buu was just like, no, sorry, I just want to. I think he fought back Kid Buu, was it? And then like Majin Buu was like, oh hello, and then just kind of annihilated, which is a weird one because Majin Buu is not one that you'd expect to do that normally, but I guess the power body may have came into effect there, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like unironically, like King Cold did really well because he like it was him alone against Kid Buu and Majin Buu, and he managed to take out Kid Buu with like 2 bars left, I think, or a bar and a half, something along those lines. So he tried to bring it back, not quite enough, but honestly, it of all the teams to get absolutely wrecked by, I don't feel so bad about getting absolutely wrecked by Buu Saga.
No, yeah. Historically,
to be fair,
oh, sorry, carry on. No, carry on. I was going to say historically strong team, but yeah, carry on.
I was just going to say this season is kind of hard to get mad at anyone like that you lose at because of how close this whole season has been for the most part. With Royals being the outlier for the most part, but everyone else is like within 1 to 3 wins away from each other. So when you have that, yeah, it's kind of hard. It's very competitive.
I suppose after all the wins I've had lately, it was about time that I got an L. But you know, but I didn't need it delivered quite so,
aggressively.
Roughly. This was the equivalent of the L being delivered by the fucking postman just chucking it in through the window. It was like package for you. So,
breaking the window received on the way through, yeah.
But yes, it was a good match. Buu Saga, they boosted their builds and the boost worked out this time. And I don't know, they just performed really well. And honestly, I do really like Evil Buu specifically as a character, actually. So I can't be too mad.
I'm still kind of shocked at how Evil Buu is he's one of the characters that will like to tag real early. Mm-hmm. You probably mentioned this. I was deafened, but it was just like tagging at 3 bars after doing, I don't know, he did what, the 15k Super Kamehameha on Babidi, and then that was it. It was just, or he did Majin Breath. It was just like, come on, how much better can that get though?
No, you know what AI he's on? I'm pretty sure he's on Yajirobe. Let me just double check because I
want to disprove that
to be wrong.
Yes, he is.
Is he? He really is.
Yeah.
Yep, he's on Yaji AI.
Boo.
I don't know why I find it so amusing that Buhan is on Majin Buu AI.
Yeah. That is quite funny.
It's like strangely fitting. But yeah, good match. I don't think I have that much else to say on it.
I certainly don't.
And so, shall we move on then?
Oh yes, we shall. I will. Very happy to talk about this match.
On to match number 7, Rugrats versus Hive.
No, you need to take a step back quickly there, Tosh. It's match 6 time, baby. It's Cold versus Namek. So we had Monster Zarbon starting off against Nail in what was a very boosted Namek side because they used how much? So
11 Zenny, I think, right?
11 Zenny, yes, they did.
Yep.
Yeah. 2 latent energies, a B2 Bonanza, and a Draconic Aura. Which the Draconic Aura, despite what I think was said in chat beforehand, people were questioning whether it was worth using the boost. It actually was because they got the exact matchup that they needed to have the Draconic Aura work. So it did work out for them. So yeah, we had Zarbon against Nail initially, which was an even fight. Then we had Nuova against Mecha Frieza, which was another fairly even fight. Mecha Frieza kind of powered through in the end. because Mecha Frieza also finished Nail off because Monster Zarbon tagged, which is important for later. Then we had Late Piccolo came in. Mecha Frieza, I think he did a little bit of damage to Late Piccolo, but he tagged out on a Slither. And then Cooler came in. Cooler kind of just spammed down Late Piccolo. He lost a little chunk of health, but I think he was still in the yellow, mainly because he transformed. But and then Late Piccolo went down, and then King Piccolo came in. Cooler tags. And brings King Vegeta in, so it's a King match-off. King versus King.
The Royals Master List off.
The Royals Master List off, exactly. But this is the character they put Draconic Aura on, which was kind of funny because King Vegeta was getting slapped around a little bit, which I'm not surprised because King Piccolo this season has been really good for Namek, from what I've seen. Probably their best character this season?
Let me look at the stats real quick. King Piccolo 46k. He is their best.
Yes, so he's been quite good. So I wasn't too surprised by that. But then King Vegeta transformed, and I thought, okay, brilliant. He'll get a couple of B2s off. He did get one B2 off, but unfortunately, because of that Draconic Aura, he wasn't able to just like abuse that power body. Basically, King Piccolo just sort of melted through the power body. But Zarbon came back in, and Zarbon was like, well, I don't care about your Draconic Aura, I'm just going to force courage and grab you 10 times, and then he died, so... and yeah, that's how the match ended. Do any of you all have thoughts on the match?
I mean, Zarbon just really wanted to plant some more trees on this planet.
Yeah,
he thought the scenery was looking... It could look a bit more lush.
Raccoon got denied a bit earlier in the other match, so he needed to make up for the planting anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to one up Raccoon with this one, I feel like.
I think so. I do agree.
But I mean, I'm not sure I agree with the Draconic Aura boost. Like in terms of like, what are the odds of actually King Piccolo ending up against King Vegeta? But they flipped the coin and it worked out. Sadly, the greater coin flip called the match itself did not.
I mean, if I recall though, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I thought I saw them say that yes, well, it's probably more so for King Vegeta.
It was for Frieza.
You also have to deal with Frieza, who, if he goes all the way up to max power mode, or not max full power, Frieza, he gets that max power mode. What is it, power body? And doesn't
only when he goes into max power mode in full power form.
No. So this is it. So basically, they did it. I think in the main actually for Frieza, which I thought was a bit weird. But I suppose King Vegeta was another thing that they were thinking of. Obviously, we didn't have Frieza in, but second form gets power body and max power, and 100% gets power body and max power. So there's two forms that get power body. So I think it kind of made sense in my head. If Frieza and King Vegeta was in this week, I think it would have definitely been a worthwhile boost. As it was, it still obviously was worthwhile because they got the matchup they wanted. So it's just one of them. It's a roll of a dice a little bit in that scenario. But Zarbon also gets power body and max power, so that's actually another thing in and of itself. So,
it makes more sense then. I apologize to Namek for the slander.
Well, sincerest apologies from Fathappy. You'll be receiving some post with a full letter apology.
You'll receive your compensation in Saiyan ducats. I'm not sure that is a viable form of currency anymore, but it's what you're gonna get.
It's what you're gonna receive, and what you get is what you get. But yeah, speaking of what you get, obviously we got the win, so that we're still in contention to be knocked out. But like it puts us in a safer position basically because we're on 6 and 7, whereas I think we're the only 6 and 7 team.
You're the only team at 6 and 7,
which is kind of funny.
So you are still technically in contention of being knocked out. Like if you lose twice and all the teams at the bottom win twice, I believe you get knocked out no matter what.
The funny thing is, we face 2 of those teams as well, because we face Androids and we face Muscle. So.
What about Namek? Have you fought Namek? I'm an idiot. sorry, my eyes glazed over as I looked at the standings.
That's quite funny. No, we have fought Budokai as well. We fought Namek and Budokai, so it's fair, and we beat Budokai as well. So it feels a bit safer.
You're pretty safe then, I think.
Pretty much.
But yeah, you're not out of the waters yet.
But yeah, Namek, there's still a chance to turn it around, especially because I believe they're on the same record as Androids, and they're only like 1 win off catching Budokai, RW, Muscle. So it's not actually out of the realm of possibility still to make playoffs. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
What was you gonna say, Tosh?
No, I was just agreeing with you with the whole. They're not completely out yet either. So.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, as we've established, there's no team right now that is 100% confirmed to be out.
Yeah.
So
I
technically,
think the only 3 teams that are technically in, I believe. Question mark? I think.
Yeah, Royals obviously.
I think Royals, Kaiju, and Sentai. I think Ryan mentioned that. Was it last week?
Mm-hmm.
When he commentated or something? It was just like anyone that gets over 8 wins or they hit 8 wins, then they're good. At least for playoffs, for the most part, they're guaranteed in.
I mean, I think technically they should already be guaranteed. Like my team, obviously, but Kaiju and the Sentai as well. I believe they should be guaranteed in, basically, because half the teams in the league have to lose.
Yeah.
So that's how the system works. Half the teams win and half the teams lose every week. So no matter what, I believe even if they lose their matches, there's going to be enough other teams that lose that they can't possibly not make. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't done the math, but that's what my instincts are telling me.
I think you're right. Yeah. Are we ready to get moving on to match 7? Tosh's absolute all-time favorite.
Totally sure.
Yeah, let's move to match 7.
Hybrids versus Rugrats.
You can do the breakdown because I'm not.
You want me to
I'm
do
not
the?
gonna break down.
Oh, you don't want to do the breakdown if you're in match where you won and dominated. What?
I'm not good at breakdowns. You do it.
Oh, does that mean that you think I'm good at breakdowns?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You know what, Xmat? Xmat.
You know what?
No,
you know what? Fathappy, you do it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Unless you want me to do it for Happy, I don't mind.
No, I'll give you the super quick breakdown, which is a bunch of children beat up their guardians.
Beat up their guardians. Are you sure is their guardians? I would say like older self / siblings.
Yes.
Yeah, but guardians was like a single term that could encompass a lot of potential.
Fair. Okay.
But you know what, Xmat, I'll let you break it down and start breakdancing. So
I'm already breakdancing. So hybrids, they spent 7 zenny. Rugrats spent 5 zenny. So this was obviously a big match, being a divisional and all the zenny being spent. And we had Saiyaman starting out against a Rayleigh. And I don't really need to do too much talking on O'Reilly because obviously she wasn't very good. Nope, she was actually really good this week. She destroyed Saiyaman. She ate into I think it was Sword.
I can give it. It was Saiyaman. She took out Saiyaman, and then I think she did like 2 or 3 bars of Trunks.
She did 2 bars of Sword Trunks, and then Sword Trunks tried to take her out, but she tagged right before he got an ult off.
And it was Goten, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then Goten, from what I remember, Goten wasn't doing bad, but he wasn't doing like fantastic against.
He basically just did like 30 something, like almost 30k.
Yeah, and that was against Sword and Adult, I believe, and then it was Kid Trunks. Did Kid Trunks come in? Yeah, because did Oom even hit the field? Oom didn't hit the field, did he? Yeah, so Kid Trunks came in and basically just killed everyone else. Future Gohan got like kind of just pushed to the side, like he just, even though Future this season I think has been Hybrid's best. You can probably stat check me on that if you want to, but I think he has. And yeah, basically Kid Trunks and Rayleigh stole the show this match.
Yeah, and I don't think we had to fact check that this is Future Gohan's best season. With him, I don't think week 13 stats are in yet for hybrids, but he's at a 55.8k average.
There you go.
I don't think he's been that high before. So so I would just say, like, going into this for us, like, it was just like, well, let's see how this goes, because Future Gohan has always been an issue for us. He, for whatever reason, can read our team and just, you know, just tear right through us. Yeah. And then of course then you have Adult Gohan at a basically almost a 60k average, the best FA ever. So
wait, is he at 60k average?
He's at 59.5.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just so you both know, Adult 59.5, Future 55.8. So yeah, they have two characters above 50. Yeah. One of them very close to 60.
So yeah, I was not like, you know, I was hoping that we win. I thought it was going to at least be close, because that's generally how our matches versus hybrids go. But obviously I knew that we weren't going into this with fusions, because fusions has kind of failed us unfortunately this season. But as far as, and Xmat knows, because I talked to him about builds and everything like that for last week for that divisional. But it was just like, okay, what boost do I give? And it was like, well, Goten likes his B1s, can give it to Kid Trunks, and then had an extra Zenny, so here Rayleigh, have a Super Saiyan 4 Aura. That's it. But I was not expecting a Rayleigh to basically do.
It was the Super Saiyan 4 Aura. That's what it was.
I guess that was the case. Just give her Super Saiyan 4 Aura, and she will start acting like one. So yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Kid Trunks spamming the heck out of hybrids. I gotta see. I forgot how many B2s he did.
It was many.
It was.
Well, he did. So he did 6. He did 6 B2s and only hit with 3. But so then the majority of it, because he's on a Q2 build, so his B2s don't do crazy amounts, anyways. So 68k, a lot of that came from clashes in melee, and he just kept up with it. He didn't even. I think he only used B1s once, so it was just great to see. I wasn't expecting a stomp where Oom never came in.
For me, with Kid Trunks, like with the Rayleigh, it was a good performance, obviously. But like, because it was against Saiyaman and Sword Trunks not knocking him too much, but like I think it was good. Whereas Kid Trunks for me was like really good, because he did it against what was it, Adult and Future, both of which, as we just said, like 50 to 60k characters, and Kid Trunks made them look like 20k characters. He just kind of like blitzed them. So that was really, really impressive for me.
The way I look at it is like, when you look at least with Kid Trunks versus Adult, not Adult, Future and everything, it's like that was a 1v1 situation in that sense. And I think Mao said it on the stream, Kid Trunks is generally known for being very good at 1v1s. Yeah. And then unfortunately for Adult Gohan, it was basically you have a very high, like, no pun intended, a very hybrid character in terms of melee and B2 spam. All who likes to be in your face, because he has a passive charge of 3 bars key, and he can just stay in your face like an android and just fire off anything that he wants. So that was kind of unfortunate in that sense for Adult Gohan, I feel like. So it kind of just, the guards fell in our way, in our favor. So, but GG's. It was a fun match, I guess. Probably not for y'all, but for me and everything, I'm just glad I was able to get the win. Honestly, yeah, I knew it was going to be a uphill fight. At least that's what I thought. So.
Alrighty.
Very impressive victory. Yeah, are we ready to get moving on?
I believe so.
Yeah, cool. Congratulations, Toast. Miserations Hybrids. Match 8. Earth Defenders versus Sentai Squad. To start, we had it was Berta versus Krillin. Did anyone boost? Oh yeah, it was a serious boost that they did on Sentai, which we'll talk later on in the match. But yeah, it was Krillin versus Berta, which I think was for the most part fairly even. But I think Berta kind of ended up pulling a little bit of a lead in the end and taking down Krillin. And then it was, I believe, Ultimate Gohan versus... Was it Ultimate Gohan versus Mid Vegeta?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. So it was Ultimate Gohan versus Mid Vegeta, which Ultimate Gohan kind of destroyed. I think he then proceeded to destroy most of Mid Goku before Saiyan Woman came in and finished off Mid Goku. And then it was Saiyan Woman against Hercule, which is kind of funny because it's father versus daughter. Saiyan Woman proceeds to do a fair decent number on Hercule. I think she did about 25,000. Then she goes down, and then Zangief basically just mops up what's left on Hercule. I think she ults him, doesn't she, with a Sky Zapper to finish it off?
Yep.
I think so.
And yeah, it was kind of, the match started out even, but like Sentai were like almost just slowly and like eking away an extra bit of a lead from each character, and eventually it just ended up being pretty much a whole character lead by the end. So
Oh yeah.
it's unfortunate for ED because this is probably one of their stronger lineups without TNN. But yeah, it was a rough one. You all have any thoughts?
I mean, it's like Sentai has been such a strong team this season.
This week, yeah.
Well, also this week, but this season. I mean, they deserve the victory, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I was just going to mention Ult Gohan was the one with the serious boost, as we kind of, you could tell by his damage in a way.
I mean, Ultimate Gohan really showed why he's called Ultimate and Mid Vegeta's called Mid. Yes.
And Mid Goku. The Mids.
Exactly.
Mids versus Ultimate, yeah.
Listen, Vegeta was just outclassed, and Goku just said, "I can't hurt my son," so...
Meanwhile, Hercule literally handing like explosives to his daughter in a costume.
To be fair, Herc doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Yeah, I was like, Hercule is not gonna hurt his daughter, and then he proceeded to do like 2 present bombs that did 20k within like 10 to 20 seconds. I'm like, well, damn, okay.
I mean, Hercule was trying. He was pumping out the present bombs. He was, putting out the damage. It's unfortunate that he got hit by the Sky Zapper as he was doing a B1.
To be fair, if there's one thing that you can count on, even if Zangief does not do well, there's one thing that you can expect her to do.
Ult.
And that is the ult, literally, and set it up and come in right in the match and ult. And she'll hit most likely.
Yeah, her setups are really good with that ult. She always seems to kick people away at the right sort of, and hit the ult at the exact right time to where it's going to hit and they're not going to land on the ground or anything. Yeah, Herc was trying. I do want to say though, because from what I remember, Saiyan Woman, she still did like 40k, because I think there might have been about 20 left on Mid Goku when she came in. That's someone I want to highlight. Saiyan Woman. I think she's done quite decent this season, right?
Let's
she's
take a look.
40k plus character.
Yeah, she's at 42k.
What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, Saiyan Woman actually didn't fight Midku. She fought. It was Krillin.
Krillin tagged. Oh, he tagged out. That's why. I thought he died initially, but he didn't. Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, as far as stats go, the only one on Sentai that is below 40 is Zangaya at 32k. Everyone else is above 40.
I think as well with Zangaya, some of that's like, I know we say sometimes like an average might be inflated, but hers is like deflated, which I know sounds weird. But she had one week where I think she did like 100 points or like 500 points of damage because she like hit a person once and then died. So
that's not being deflated. That's called having a bad week.
No, but what I'm saying is her. She had such an abysmally bad week that she could have done 40k every week from then on, and she'd still only be like a 32k. I think that's how bad of a week it was. So I think I would count that as deflated because I don't even think she's on that same build anymore or AI. So, as far as I'm concerned, Zangai is actually having a good season. I don't necessarily think that 32k averages are reflective of her season, personally. But
it's fair.
Overall, it was a good match. ED, they tried. Herc tried, most definitely. And so did Krillin, I think. But it was an uphill battle, especially with Ultimate Gohan in that sort of vein. And also, this was without Jiren, so there you go. Sentai is scary even without Jiren. They are very scary. So, yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts? Are we ready to get moving on to predictions?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Prediction o'clock it is. Okay, so match 1. We have Kaiju versus Royals. Now, if you want to share any details, Fathappy, you can do if you want to.
I mean, the detail I'll share is that it's gonna be Majin Vegeta who's out this week. But other than that, I just expect it to be a good one. I tend to keep my builds mostly the same.
Yeah, I thought so.
Which is funny because I'm boosting the Bora with a light body, but that's because I've been boosting the Bora with a light body for half the season.
Who did you boost with a light body last week? This week, rather.
The Bora.
But you can't boost the same character back to back.
Yes, you
right?
can.
You can boost a light body and then boost a light body on the same character back to back.
Yeah. I asked staff. I have asked for confirmation about how the things work.
If anything, that may have been an old rule.
Yes, there was something about there being like an old rule that some people thought was still in place, but it's not. So you can boost the same boost as many weeks in a row as you want.
Okay, well that's a very interesting thing to note because I was, for some reason, the old rule was a little bit in my head. So, but that's so basically what you're saying is you're going into this match and you're boosting light body and Deborah again. Is that correct?
Yes.
There you go then. Okay, but everything else builds are all the same, and you've got MB out, right?
Correct.
And Kaiju, in terms of their benches, I don't think they're locked yet. So it's either Kid Ku or Slug. Wait, hold on. Wait, who was?
There's some of the week 13 things that aren't in yet on the stat spreadsheet.
Hold on. Who was benched for them last week?
I think it was. Was it?
It was Slug.
Yeah.
It was Slug. So Slug got his last bench. So it's either Scouter or Kid Ku. And I want to say probably it's going to be Scouter maybe because
they might be trying to avoid apes against who breaks power body? Deborah, Majin Vegeta.
Well, Deborah takes a few hits, but I think the only one who really doesn't break it at all is like Babidi.
So yeah, so they'll probably
which is why I'm giving Babidi Savior.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if I was looking at their perspective, they might think, oh, Majin Vegeta might be in, so he breaks power body. Deborah might break power body. So I think it probably will be Scour that's benched.
Yeah. Also remember, Kaiju does not have a night map, so
that's true. And Scour can just transform anyway, so they probably would bench him. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Royals because they've been super strong all season. I don't think, let's say Kidku is in and they do Kidku against Deborah. I don't think that matchup's going to go as well against Deborah as it did against 13.
Actually, interesting. The only change I've done this week is that I've swapped Deborah and Cold's position. So Cold is the one starting.
Ooh, okay.
Specifically because Deborah occasionally gets destroyed by melee characters, like with their heavy melee starters. So I'd rather have Cold against Kidku if that was to be the case.
Well, I'm still going to go with Royals because I think Deborah and Metacooler in and of themselves are really, really strong characters. King Cold, he can be really strong. He can be. He has the potential.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Tosh?
I'm gonna go with Royals, and it's not out of my bias. It's more so. At first, I was thinking that they would bench Scouter just to have their strongest team, but looking at the schedule, I can actually see them losing a bit more because I can see them actually benching Kidku instead, because their last match is against Androids who has been struggling. So they could probably just bring out Kidku and make sure they have all their strongest out for that to guarantee the win there, and then just take the loss here if and everything, hoping for a win, but maybe.
Oh, wait, are you saying that you think Scouter is stronger than Kidku?
No, I
look
think
at
he's
the
saying,
look at the average. Kidku is stronger than Scouter.
Yeah, he's saying Kidku's stronger than Scouter, but he'll...
Oh, sorry. I asked if you thought that Scouter was stronger than Kidku. And
Oh
you said
no,
yes.
no.
Just look at the stats. I am. That's why your statement makes no sense.
No, my statement makes sense because they will probably want to use their stronger team against the weaker team. Standing wise, to guarantee a win against, because their last match is against Androids for week 15.
I suppose.
So that's I originally was thinking that they would have their strongest against you guys, but thought about that. So I'm still giving y'all the win regardless. It's just more so based on who they may have benched.
In case you're wondering, by the way, legit the only reason that I am benching Majin Vegeta this week and not King Cold is because King Cold's Death Beam has a habit of not hitting the tiny Rugrats. So that is the only reason.
Yeah.
The
funny thing is, and Tosh will know this, but King Cold actually has a very good record against Rugrats. He normally does well. He's beat a Ray League once or twice, which is a surprise to me, but yeah, he has done it. So
I mean, Majin Vegeta also has a really good record with beating the crap out of his son. So
I don't know if that's PC, my friend. I don't know if we can say that.
I'm so glad that you have my team in your thoughts. Just don't how about next time you don't do that and just forget that we exist and bench Majin Vegeta against us next time.
No, I would never. I respect you guys. All right.
I don't know about that. All right.
Match 2, Tosh. I guess you're voting for Royals. Fathappy, by the way.
Yes.
So it's 3-0 to Royals because Royals are strong. Match 2, Rugrats versus RW. Go on, Tosh. Unload. Tell us what's going on.
We're using fusions.
Yeah.
Rayleigh has she doesn't have to be, but of course I want to bring my A game against Royals. So Rayleigh is being benched this week against RW. And of course, like I said, we're using fusions. We're going. The last 2 weeks, Goten has been on attack +1, but I'm switching him back to super +2 and still keeping him on his old AI, which is Piccolo AI. And yeah, outside of that, everyone is pretty much the same. Oob is our closer and such, so Estelle Jr. is our starter. Hoping that Goten starts the fusion, and hopefully Gotenks actually pops off. So we'll see.
Alrighty. I mean, stats-wise, the teams are fairly even. We split honestly. Like, there's not that big of a difference between the two teams. But I think Rugrats probably got this.
Who's RW got left to bench? Does anyone know?
RW have who was it they benched this week?
It was end of the year.
So it's either either Roshi or Yajirobe.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. My head says RW, but my heart says Rugrats. Basically, this is hard.
I will say the last week they have to fight Derp.
Yeah. I really want to give it to Rugrats, but I'm just thinking well, for the end of the season, basically they've got their strongest lineup, whichever way, because they've got Envegeta, 18, and Marjubin, who are probably, for me, I call it the Doom trio, because whenever those three are in, like, you've got not a good chance of winning, because like they're all like, I would say 45 to 50k characters easily, and on their on their day they could easily be like 60k, because I just think they're that good. But I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna go with Rugrats. I'm just gonna be biased and say Rugrats for a change. So, you know, what is that? 3-0 to Rugrats?
I think it's 3-0 to Rugrats.
Okay. On to match 3, we have Sentai versus Namek, the last divisional of the season, and it's the South Kai divisional. I'm gonna start the ball rolling here and say Sentai, because I just think they're that good. Jiren's gonna be coming in because Jiren was out this week, and Namek spent, I think, a large portion of their Zenny against us.
They would have, since they lost against y'all, I think that, what is it, week 13? We put them at what? What is it? 13 Zenny?
Oh, okay, so they're at 13.
So as of week 12, it says that week 12 was 22.
And they spent 11, and then they lost.
And yeah, they spent 11. So then they're at 11, but then they lost, so they're at 13.
They still have
They can still do a lot.
Yeah.
Imagine ever having above 10 Zenny.
Me. I can never do that.
That being said, I still think Sentai, because Jiren will be coming back in. I'm not sure who they bench. However, I'm at the point of saying that whoever they bench, they're still going to have a very strong lineup, because I think, I don't know who has benches left yet, but I imagine that, say, Berta has got like a bench still to go.
So
they could bench.
so they're actually they're bench locked. So it's unless they do a double bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either Seiya woman or if they do a double bench, they can just bench Jiren again. But I doubt that at this point.
Okay, so basically that all but confirms it for me, because it's basically going to be Berta, Jiren, what's it called? Berta, Jiren, Ultimate Gohan, and Zangaya.
Yep.
And just the three that leap off the page for me: Berta, Jiren, and Ultimate Gohan. Those three are just crazy. But yeah.
And on the flip side, Team Namek are forced to bench Nuoba. So
who did really good this week? Actually, must be said. Like, he was one of Namek's best this week, to be honest. Other than King Piccolo.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going with Sentai. What about you?
I'm going Sentai.
Same. I'm going Sentai.
Oh my god, another 3-0.
We're on point.
We're on point. We're all just in agreement. We're like,
and of course, all our predictions will be correct.
Of course.
I hope so. I'm knocking on wood right now. RNG gods, please do not go against Royals or my team. Okay.
Or Cold.
All right. Let's go ahead. Yeah, or Cold. Yeah, or Cold.
Okay.
We haven't gotten to your match yet.
Okay. Match 4. We have Muscle versus Budokai. Now, this is actually like huge. Like, because of the way the league works now, in the sense that it's not like by Kai and it's by overall wins and losses. This is basically a divisional in a sense, because Muscle and Budokai are both 5 and 8. So whoever wins this could basically secure themselves a playoff spot, depending on what happens with RW and stuff like that.
Muscle bench Bojack.
Muscle, what, sorry?
They bench Bojack.
Yeah.
So it's either Broly or Raccoon.
Yep.
Which is kind of bad for Muscle, because I feel like, although I don't know if Raccoon's been all that good this season.
Raccoon is at a basically he's basically 3 points shy of a 40k average even.
Oh.
Yeah, he's at like 39.997.
Oh,
So he's basically 40k. Broly, on the other hand, is 36k. So,
oh, that's weird. I in my head I thought Broly'd been doing quite well, but I guess maybe he's had some rough weeks since. But yeah.
Also keep in mind that still stats haven't been put in, so those averages could definitely change.
That is true, but also Bojack's current average is 33k, and he's guaranteed to be in.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The worst thing is that Bojack's coming in. Budokai, I think that I think this weird thing is them and Muscle were on a similar trajectory. I think both were like either 0 and 5 or like 1 and 5, and they both turned their season around a little bit. I think I'm going to go with Budokai, because I think they've had a little bit of a turnover recently. They barely lost to RW, but I think with some of the characters they have, End Goku has the potential to be really strong. Early Goku's had some good performances. Early Piccolo, good character. Who's coming back in for Budokai?
Budokai has GT Goku coming back in. Who has he's the lowest performer on their team at 37k. So
37's not that bad though. Still, it's better than 33 on Bojack. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just about give it to Budokai.
I'll give it to Budokai as well.
I can see Muscle winning, but I'm going to give it to Budokai. They seem a little bit more stable.
Are we a Hive mind or something?
Listen, hey, for this match it's unfortunate because hasn't Android 13 been kind of off, or at least the last couple weeks?
He has actually, yeah, because last week he was 30k. This week he was 35 to 40, which, you know, most characters, same with Deborah, he was 35 to 40. Most characters you'd go, oh yeah, that's you know, all right. But with Deborah and 13, that's like bad.
Funnily enough, if you look at the stats for this week, Dora stats, they are right next to each other. Deborah and 13.
But that's not bad. Like, look, I was going on about how good 17 did to like clean up, and he's on that. And then you've got Scouter, who was quite good, and he's on that. But then we look at 13 and Deborah, and we're like, that's bad. Yeah. Yeah, so you'll go with Budokai as well, Tosh?
Yep.
Okay. That is 3-0 to Budokai. On to match 5. We have GT versus ED. That's quite an easy one to say. The 2 syllable teams. Or 2 letter teams. Yeah, G-Ted. Yeah, exactly.
GT's bench was Super 17, so they have Super 17 coming back in.
Who I believe
and it was ED. And ED had
Tien coming back in, who's also one of the worst. So it's the worst. So. I think Super 17's on like a 30k average. And 39.8. Oh, okay. And then Tien, I know is
33.
Yeah.
I'm going GT.
I'm going with my heart. I'm going with GT because I need GT to potentially win. And also, I just think that, you know, GT all season have been quite strong. I don't think Imperfect Cell's going to do as bad if he is in this week that he did last week, because he's not going against Frost. So I'm going to go with GT.
I will also go GT, but it's primarily because, you know, Tien's coming back in, and the only 2 characters on ED that are missing benches are Mid Goku and Mid Vegeta, who are both 50k characters. They're benching a 50k and getting a 33 in. Which is, you know, a big power swing in terms of stats, at least. So I'll give it to GT.
Okay. So that's another 3-0 GT.
Listen, I'm only going GT because that's my team. That's my other team there.
Oh,
Got to root for them.
And also we're part of a hive mind, but the viewers don't know about that, so it's fine. Match 6. Match 6 is.
Mitch is a hive mind. Yeah, no hive mind here.
No. I'm
These are not the hive minds
I'm
you're looking
spinning
for.
conspiracies. Okay, there's nothing there. Anyway, match 6 is Buu Saga versus Hybrids. Now
Hybrids. They benched Teen Gohan against us. Buu Saga.
Yeah.
Buu Saga was Spopovich.
who
Just Spopovich.
normally you'd go Spopovich. Oh, he's not a very good character to bring him back in. But this season, I'm pretty sure he's been fairly good.
Yeah, no.
He's their second best.
43 average. Yeah.
What, average?
Yeah, he's their
43.
second best.
43. That's crazy, and his second best. This is what I mean. Like, he's actually been quite good this season. So
And they do have to bench either Gohan or Kid. There's like Gohan Buu or Kid Buu.
yeah, I was gonna say there's so many Gohans in this match. I was
what's
going on there.
I said Gohan and I was like, wait, that doesn't explain much.
And hybrids have to bench who?
So
Hybrids
teams
have to
going back
bench.
in Future or Sword.
Ooh, see the
I
bench
can
is...
probably see them benching Sword.
Who's their fight in the last week for hybrids? It's
Last
ED.
is ED. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that I am going to throw no curveball here. I was going to throw a curveball. I think Buu Saga all wins because, unfortunately, even if they have to bench Gohan Buu or Kid Buu, I don't think Kid Buu's been great this season.
Kid Buu only has a 41k average.
Yeah,
right now.
He has done well the last couple of weeks, looking from the tier list, but yeah. I think Spoke coming back in can fit in that mould anyway, if depending on who's bench. If it's Gohan Buu, there might be a bit of a drop off, but I just think they look so strong against Royals, with Evil Buu just being an absolute menace. Even Margin Buu was quite good. But I think I'm going to give it to Buu Saga, because yeah, I could see future Gohan being benched this week as well, basically. So
it's an interesting one.
I want to give it to hybrids.
You go first.
It's an interesting one because I feel like if it were me, because I like trying to match the power level of whatever team I'm going against. I would probably bring my strongest lineup for Buu Saga and then save the slightly weaker lineup for ED in week 15. In which case, it would be Ultimate Gohan and Sword Trunks and Adult, in versus Buu Saga, which is
Adult Gohan.
Those are some powerful characters, like a 59k, 55k, 43k. But it is Buu Saga who just slammed me into the ground. I'll give it to Buu Saga. They wrecked me. They deserve a vote.
So bias, of course, I want Buu Saga. I agree with your thinking, your line of thinking, Fathappy, to literally to the T. So like, it is hard, but I definitely can see Buu Saga picking it up, especially because if Evil Buu, like how you were saying, if Evil Buu especially acts like how he did versus y'all, he still bent. What is it? He didn't come back in the fight, but he tagged with 3 bars and everything, and he did so much damage in a short amount of time. So I think that they can take it. They can definitely take out hybrids for the most part. But I do see hybrids maybe bringing in or keeping future Gohan in and benching Sword Trunks. So it's hard, but I'm giving the edge to Buu Saga.
So Hive Mind strikes again, 3-0 to Buu Saga. Let's see if we can break it here. Cold versus androids.
Androids, totally.
No,
Yeah,
androids.
yeah.
Exactly.
Do you want me to read you? Would you like me to read you the builds? That
What's the point?
We're almost certainly going to go with. I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I might as well submit builds saying we throw in the towel, and then that'll be my builds for the week. Actually, yeah.
No, cold.
You submit a
literally
white
just
flag.
read explode. And that's it.
So, what we've got is we've got King Vegeta starting, Monster Zarbon, Mecha Frieza, and Frieza. So Cooler is out. We have King Vegeta is running his normal stuff. Monster Zarbon.
Is that DBS correct?
Defense 3, yeah. Defense 3
Okay.
Indignation launches, then days. Monster Zarbon is running his normal build, except because we're using 2 Siriuses, he is being given a saviour. And you might say, why is Monster Zarbon being given a saviour? Basically, he has Power Body and Max Power. And I don't think anyone on androids has more than like a 3 or 4 hit break, Power Body break combo. So he will be able to just come in and he'll have Power Body and he'll be able to hopefully grab loads of people from it. Like he did this week because he went to Max Power against Namek and did kind of well. So yeah, he's running Saviour. Mecha Frieza is running his normal attack 1 with Saviour, and Frieza is running Defense 2. And yeah, they're just his normal build with Fighting Spirit and Sirius. So obviously I'm going to be completely unbiased and say cold. And then I'm going to pass the mic over to you two.
I think that I'll give it to cold. Like now that we're out of our own personal heads and back into the hive mind, I'm gonna give it to cold, primarily because looking at it in the final week 15, androids are gonna be fighting Kaiju, and the 2 benches they're missing, like they're getting back Cyborg Tau for this coming week, and the 2 benches they're missing is 19 and 16. I would assume they don't want 19 in against Kaiju, and 16 destroys apes. So I'm banking on them like benching 16 against Cold.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, which means that their strongest character is going to be out versus Cold. That's what my logic is telling me, is that they're going to bench their strongest character versus Cold, because they have a really good matchup with 16 against Kaiju.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking, and you guys are getting Frieza backing it.
The top character in the league. I'm pretty sure he's near enough. So.
I think it's pretty solidly Cold favored on this one.
Oh.
I guess in this case, Hive Mind kind of strikes again. Going cold. Fathappy, stop making good logical points that can actually probably happen.
Watch me be wrong after spitting logic.
Okay, listen. One thing that I've learned with this league is that logic does not help at all. It really doesn't.
What I will say is King Vegeta is being marked up there to, if it does happen, go up against 16, because I think he will do better than Zarbon, basically. But if that does happen.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, on to.
Damn, you didn't want the grab off?
No, because the problem is 16's grab is better because it launches people away, and then he can just hit like a B2 off of it, so he could do like 12 million points of damage, and I just think Zarbon.
12 million.
12 million, yeah. It's ridiculous, really. But yeah. So the last match of this week, Cinema versus Derp. Will we continue the Hive Mind thing? Well, let's find out.
The last divisional of the whole season.
Cinema had Gogeta benched, so Gogeta's back in. And Derp, what the heck are you, Derp, on the list? Derp had the Doria bench. So
Cinema currently has 10 Zenny. I believe, because hold on. The leagues, okay, yeah, wins and losses are updated. And they didn't use any boosts last week, correct? Cinema?
I think so.
No,
I
they
don't think they
didn't.
did. No.
And
Yeah.
Derp didn't either. So Cinema's at 10. Derp is also at 10 Zenny. So
Who do both?
they.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
Okay.
I was gonna say who do both have to bench?
Cinema, it is Garlic Jr. or Vegito, with both of those being their lowest performers. Vegito at 28k and Garlic at 34k. And Derp, it's since they're getting back to Doria, it's going to be either Yamcha or 21.
Okay. Sorry, carry on, Tosh. You said both are at 10s anyway, right?
Yep.
Okay.
With Yamcha being 34k.
I think I'm gonna give it to Derp, and my reasoning is this. I think I'm going to assume that Fasha probably starts for Cinema, and Frost probably starts for Derp. I think Frost actually will have Fasha's number, and I think that could be pivotal in the match in general. I'm fairly certain that 21 will be in and Yamcha will be benched because it's a divisional, and I think if Derp wins, they're probably going to get the bye. Although it could be, I don't know what happened between them and Sentai earlier in the season, but it gives them a good chance. So I think they're going to go all out. I think 21 will be in. Obviously, Solza is a really strong character, and Doria is quite strong as well. I just think that with Cinema, they're going to have. It's probably going to be Garlic that's in, right? Because I think Vegito is probably it is their worst. But I just think overall, I would prefer the characters that Sentai are going to have in over Cinema. I think Gogeta is really strong. I think Bosch is really strong. But I think that Derp has the tools to get around them with like Frost just being able to do insane damage. Same with 21. I think that a lot of Fasha and Gogeta's damage is them being able to survive for a long time. I don't think they have that going to happen in this match. So I'm going to go with Derp.
Assuming... Yeah, so both Frost and Fasha are in, and those two are usually their starters.
Yeah.
Historically. And I think that Frost has a higher likelihood of beating Fasha, in my opinion, because of the way his melee functions.
Yes.
So I will also give it to Derp.
I'm sorry, we had a good run.
No!
Run.
No!
I'm going Cinema.
You gotta go Derp for
the Hive Mind.
Traitor in the Hive Mind spotted.
You're right. Yeah, we need to delete Tosh from the Hive Mind.
Delete.
Okay, listen. The main reason why I say that is because, yes, like, Frost versus Fasha, he can definitely have her number and everything like that with his melee and stun. But Fasha is a dodgy mofo. If you can't hit her, you're not going to be able to stun her. And there's a reason why she's near the top of the league with 66k.
But
or is she at the top? I think she's at the top.
Oh wait, what? Where's Frieza? No.
Frieza's number 3 as of right now, as a week 12 stat.
Wait, no, Fasha's going to go down because as 13 stats not been put in. She's on 30k this week, so I believe Frieza's going to go above her again.
We'll have to deal with that. But either way, you got a 66k average versus 58k. And like I said, Fasha does a lot of crazy stuff. So while the rest of Derp, I really feel it hangs on the starter. So, but I definitely see Fasha pulling it out for them and everything, give them at least a huge lead. and everything, because if she beats Frost, who's going to try to go against her? For the most part, Dodori is usually a B2 spammer. She stays up in his face, and then Salza is usually what, like their tank or just attack. So
yeah.
and she can probably probably match him in that. So, all right, I'm changing, but it's half and half. I'm in the middle. Because I see both points. I definitely see both points.
He's trying to
I
stay
really
to the
do.
hive mind. I see. So that's
he
2.5
away,
to Derp and half to Cinema.
Yeah, so 2.5. 2.5.
Just so the hive mind kind of stays intact.
You know what? Cinema can be proud that they were the team that ruined the perfect hive mind streak.
That is quite funny. Okay, well, with all this talk of hive mind and stuff, I think it's probably about time to wrap the episode. Don't you all agree?
So the last thing I'll mention, because you mentioned the top of like the rankings, is that this season we're actually still like really close in terms of who's at the top of the ranking, like the individual characters in terms of average damage. Like both Fasha and Deborah are within like 100 of each other. And they both had bad performances this week, so where the stats haven't been put in yet, so they're gonna go down.
And Frieza will probably overtake them.
I don't think Frieza will overtake them, but they'll be much closer.
How much is the difference between them and Frieza? Out of curiosity.
Frieza is at 62k, Deborah and Fasha are at 66k.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 4k difference. That's why I'm like...
Frieza wasn't in this week, so Frieza's average can't go up or down at least.
So the difference between Fasha and Deborah is literally 63 points of damage.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
One of these characters has an elite.
What's an elite? I don't know what those are. I had one, I think, one time.
What's it called? But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the top of the league shakes out by the end of the main season.
Most definitely it will. Right, well, I think it's time to say goodbye to the viewers and say thank you for watching. And if you guys want to check out the links to the Discord, the website, the Twitter, and the TikTok in the description below. And while you're down there, if you could just leave us a little comment for anything you would like to improve about the cast. Maybe, we could improve our hive mind, what's it called? Because obviously Tosh went against us on the last prediction, so that was a bit of a dampener on the hive mind. Tosh. But other than that, if there's any other improvements, just leave them down there. And yeah, we will see you all in the next episode. I've been your host, Xmat, joined by my co-host, Fathappy.
It's been a pleasure. Adios.
And a wild guest who appeared halfway through, Toshiro.
Disappear back in the shadows.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.